All right, so good afternoon, everyone. So to formally start our orientation this afternoon, let's have first our prayer, followed by the Philippine National Anthem via audio-video presentation.
If there's one more gift I'd ask of you, Lord, it would be peace here on earth. As gentle as your children's laughter all around. There is all around.
All rise.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
All right, so please be seated. Okay. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. So my respect to our SDS, Renante A. Solitario, our ESDS, Mampibigay El Rifamonte, to our CID Chief, Sir Januario Iyamuta, and to our SGOD Chief, Ma'am Eileen B. Anunuevo. To everyone who are on board, pleasant afternoon. So let's have first our attendance check. So the following PSDSs are in the CID office. We have Ma'am Mary Ann Rebilla, hello ma'am, present. Sir Antonio R. Pasquito, Ma'am Marisa Manginsay, Ma'am Maria Ninita G. Tuazon, Ma'am Joylyn B. Martinez, Ma'am Luzminda Ildulay, Sir Rinaldo D. Ocampo, and Sir Abilino D. Bitang. Alright, so may we hear from the following PSDSs. Sir Neil Michael Diazes, sir, are you here? Sir Neil. Okay na si Sir. So, paminaw na to ang tingog ni Sir Neil. Hello, Sir Neil. And also our birthday girl, Ma'am Estrella in Maputol. Happy birthday, Ma'am.
Happy birthday, Sing! Happy birthday!
Wala.
Happy birthday on leave.
Okay, so let's move on to give us the opening remarks and the rationale of this orientation. Let's all welcome our dashing CID Chief, Sir Januario E. Yamuta. Sir.
Good afternoon din. I would like to request all our PSDS and all the audience in this platform to open up your camera. Gamay raman ta. We are only 14 in my monitoring here, no? Yan. To the EDM coordinator, Ma'am Bimbi, to LR manager, at the same time, our MTV supervisor, Ma'am Joanie, to all the PSDS, to the new designated Task Force Error Watch Division Coordinator, Sir Eldin Orbita. To all of us, good morning, mayong hapon sa tanan. From the word Task Force Error Watch, very obvious. Last week, we have attended the orientation conducted by the regional office. Required participants are all subject area. So, nandito lahat yung mga subject area natin. Siyam, no? Kasi kulang tayo ng isang education program supervisors. Now, we decided to designate Sir Eldin Orbita as the Division Task Force Error Watch to really smoothly conduct our orientation, because we would like also to conduct an orientation to our designated school Task Force Error Watch, no? Because I believe you all know that our DepEd was really received a lot of bashes, no, from all over the agency and other social media. Bakit daw maraming mali, maraming error ang ating mga binibigay sa mga bata, grammatically, content, all of those things, no? Kaya nandito yung EDM coordinator natin at saka yung ating LR manager to discuss with the technicality. And we would like also to orient the public school district supervisors that you have also to monitor this one. Kasama ito sa monitoring natin na gagawin, no? Kasi hindi natin malaman kung talaga bang nag-function yung ating mga error watch coordinator kung wala namang monitoring, because we are only allowed to monitor the PSDS. And I would like also to inform the public, the public school district supervisors. Kahapon, tinawag ako ni Sir SDS and he told me, nakadungog si Sir Jaime Carlom gahapon na there will be a reshuffling of public school district supervisors of the different districts. So I want you to listen, because if you will assign in other district, at least you will know your function, no, in this particular orientation. Kung yan ingon, medyo ko, sir, can I ask them to select their district, yung sa no, ako ang mag-assign dyan. So, let us prepare that one, no? Ani Prangka dyan si sir, let us prepare that one. You are 10, pero ang plano niya, duha, na ay duha ka public school district supervisor magdala og program. And the remaining 8 will act as the full-fledged public school district supervisor. Wala o na itong assign sa secondary. Ang iyahang plano, ako nang i-inform sa inyo ha, para appeal na lang sa orientation board para dili mo matingala kay by this opening that will be materialized kay mo na iyang ingon sa kuha. Ang iyang ingon, wala na ang clustered district because based on the KRA, elementary, secondary, and senior high school will be monitored by the assigned PSDS in your location or in your district, including the private school. So, kinsa may existing PSDS handling the program. I believe si Ma'am String Maputol is handling IPID with money, no? May allocation yan. Other supervisor is also having a program. Sir Neil Michael Diasis is having the TLA as of now and holding the senior high school coordinator communication. Siguro this will be the two program PSDS who will handle niya na apay dugang ani, no? So naay mga changes. So I hope that you will be also informed ahead of time, because I know that SDS will call us and probably will assign in your differensya ang magbuot, no? So appeal na mo sa orientation, no? Kasi this will be the plan of our division so that we have an effective task force error watch. We need also to know our function, and later on it will be discussed by Ma'am Bim Bisuelto, and the technicality side is discussed by our LR manager. Actually, this is the rationale, no, of our orientation. The Department of Education announced the creation of Error Watch initiative to correct errors in student learning materials. That's why when Ma'am Joanny is giving orientation to the MTB, no, regarding the what I really mentioned, that instead of spreading the error of our modules, let us correct that one. So this is now in align with the plan of the DepEd, that to correct the errors in student learning materials, and in response to numerous reports about errors found in learning materials allegedly released by the DepEd, the goal of this initiative is to receive and collect reports of errors found in different learning materials. Example, SLM, self-learning module, other printed materials, dili lang ang module, appealed ang other printed materials, DepEd TV, DepEd Commons, DepEd TV or YouTube channel, etc. Then, to forward this to appropriate offices for validation and correction. Yusik Pascua stated in Memorandum 00-1020-138 that he signed, the The DepEd Task Force Error Watch initiative will make use of three platforms for reporting, which will validate errors for immediate and proper correction. Number one, we have our email, errorwatch@deped.gov.ph. Second, we have our text and Viber, 0961-6805-334. And we have our Facebook Messenger, DepEd Error Watch at DepEd Error Watch. Then we have our work chat, DepEd Error Watch, http://deped.workplace.com. So dissemination of this detail is designed to enable an efficient and proactive system of improving the department learning materials across all modalities. Hence, this initiative comes after 1 week of close monitoring of the opening of schools, talking to teachers and students, and reading feedback on social media. We wish to immediately address this mistake with the help of our citizen. Magtulungan po tayo. Let's help each other rather than bash the agency, the teachers, and school. This is in time for bayanihan, Pasqua said. So that's the rationale of our task force error watch. So sa title pa lang, very obvious, we need to correct the lapses of our modules and other materials distributed and used by our student, no? Kasi babalik din sa atin yan. So, sino ang gagawa nito? Tayo, no? As a CID chief, I will be the chair of this task force, no? So, we need also your cooperation as district supervisors because we need also to inform our teachers because Sir Eldin is now having a school task force error watch coordinator in their respective school. So we will give you the copy of the name para we can also tap them, no? In case na may error, dapat sila ang unang tao na mag-receive and forward it to our division task force para sa correct and the correct appropriate correction, no? Correction sa ato ang mga error ato ang mga SLM and other material. So I will not stay longer because there are a lot of discussion. Mataas itong i-discuss ni Ma'am Joanny kasi more on grammar, technical side, so on and so forth. So marami ito. So I hope we will also have a listening ear because it will really require a lot of time, no? Kasi medyo kung sa paminahon kay puros technicality siya, mga grammar o uban pa no nga mga kakulian. So lastly, I would like to ask your 100% and one cooperation with this, no? Because this will be also help our department kasi talagang pag may mali tayo, talagang teacher din o DepEd personnel din yung nangungunang nagbabash sa atin, no? Kaya din ang magawa ng sarili nating problema. So I hope na we can correct this one. Kung meron tayong makikita na mga problema, we will turn it over and to the proper personnel for correction and for proper action. Dili na to i-chismis nga, sus mali man yung grammar, lang yapon madaot. No? So, thank you for listening and I know na ang wala lang diri si Ma'am Rebilla, please ask kung dili siya kapasok kay unlib siya, please kana na kalain na lang siya info because we would like to no? So that's all, Sir Eldin. Thank you and I hope you have a very successful orientation this afternoon and maraming salamat po.
All right, thank you so much, Sir John, for that update and giving us the rationale of this task force error watch, which aims the proper way of addressing the SLM errors, the right channeling from central office down to the SDO. So this time, let's get the ball rolling to orient us on the full and comprehensive understanding about learning resource standards, and status of released SLMs. Let's all listen to the presentation of our Education Program Supervisor, Ma'am Joanny Aguilar. Ma'am Dija.
Welcome si Kaimi ba? Nakita tanan namong naong oh, si Sir Elden di magpakita, no?
Wala may
Sa man mong bata man ni, ML ni.
Asa man ni siya? Asa man ni?
Lagi oh, si Sir Neil, wala, Sir Ray, ayun. Please be informed also that I asked Sir Chris and Maya to join us. Kay wala ba yan ni sila na appeal sa kana ba? Nandun ang pugi kayo. Oh.
Ay tama
Wala
daw
ba
Jo,
sila
i-appeal.
na-appeal?
Yeah, i-appeal dahil si Maya o si Chris because they are part of your staff.
Yes, sir. O niya. Basta
Yeah,
ang
thank you,
ending
thank
ni
you.
sir kay sila yung mag-consolidate sa ato ang mga kon makatabang ni silang duha. So
Yeah.
I specifically asked them to join us this
Yeah.
afternoon.
Good
Wala
idea,
man
good
sila
idea.
before.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
sir. Okay, so once again, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Sir Jan. Good afternoon, my dearest palalabs and all. May hapon. So I am tasked to share with you the LR standards. During the discussion of Ma'am Analiza Almasan in the region, grabe kataas sa iyang kanang discussion. Ang ihamang kung gidiscuss before is murabag para sa mga writers. How do you develop the learning resource material? How do you write a module? What are the things to consider? So murabag she is speaking to the writer. And with due respect sa iyahang presentation and with your permission, Sir Jan, ay murabag ako siyang gituis nga because we are after finding the error. So, ang ako nilang dali gi-shorten na ako kung unsa lang gyud tong mga kinahanglan nga makita sa atong mga coordinators and consider them as errors and report them to us. Dili na kinahanglan tong kailangan ba ng illustrator, writer, mga layout artist, wa na sila ipakian na kaya nga tuwa igi after is ang error. So unsa ang klase nga error? How do they know nga kani error? And when do they report them to us? So ako na lang ni siyang i-shorten ha. And para dili na tong katog yung original nga gi-present sa ato ani Ma'am Analiza. Okay. Okay? So of course, for us to understand kung unsa gyud ang error, mugbase gyud ta sa ato ang mga standards. And if we deviate with the standards, that's the time that we commit errors. Okay? So let us know what are the different standards and when do we commit an error. Okay? First and foremost, ingon gani si Sir Jan kaganina that it's not only the modules that we are after. It's all the pati ang mga TVBI, mga episodes nga gina-present nato sa radio, sa TV, our activity sheets, or different learning resource materials nga ginagamit sa ato ang mga bata karon. Luckily ganito. The Schools Division of Panabo City has only used materials kay ang atong ginafter katong ginagamit unsay ginagamit sa atong mga bata karon. Isa lang man gyud atong ginagamit, SLM. Ang atong mga TV o radio instructions, nag-base po siya sa SLM. So meaning, the only material that we are using in the field right now are SLMs. So these SLMs, luckily, wala tay locally developed material, meaning division initiated or school initiated. Everything that we are using now in our division is either centrally developed, meaning gi-download nato from the central office, and regionally developed, regionally quality assured material. So duha lang, meaning safe ato ang mga EPS karon kay dati kung ano man god ang ingon nila pag locally developed, pag division initiated, pag naay error makita, padulong sa EPS. Ang EPS ang mag-correct. Then ang dili na moabot sa region ang report. Karon kaya nga to ang gigamit kay region man og CO, so meaning i-report sa to i-forward ra pud nato sa region ug sa national ang atong mga makita nga errors. So dili kayo tatrabahoso. Ang atoa lang is i-report nato, i-forward nato ang mga nakita nato nga error. So what is a module? A module is defined as a self-contained, self-instructional, self-paced, interactive learning resource for learning a specific topic or lesson. So mo na itong ginagamit karon. Learners can get immediate feedback because we already have given them the answer sheets or the answer keys. So immediately they can check whether tama sila or mali sila. And then if mali sila, matama nila ilang kagalingon, they check themselves, they have immediate feedback, and then work again. Okay, so lahi po itong parallel assessment for us teachers to really know kung tama ba yun itong ato ang kung nakatuon ba yun ang mga bata sa dapat nilang matunan. Then, module encourages mastery of learning. Ideally, sa kita karon kay it encourages mastery of learning because they can repeat it over and over again because the module is with them. Pero depende na gyapon na sa pacing and interest sa bata whether they like to review the material over and over again for mastery. Then, accessible to learner. Na sila'y printed material, others, gihatagan nato og mga digital file, gihatagan og digital file sa ilang mga teachers. So, modules are everywhere. And then learners can acquire a better self-study or learning skills. That's the ideal purpose, di ba, of modules. Better self-study. Dili kay parent study and answer. So that's the purpose of originally. And then learners are trained to be independent and responsible for their own learning. Very ideal, no? Independent and responsible. Anyway, daghang mga bata po nga tama gyud ni siya. They become independent and responsible. And sadly, there are also those students who become too dependent na sa ilang mga siblings and parents and elders for their learning. Dili na mahimo lang module kung walay mo tabang. Pero nagihapoy, naging independent and responsible. Now, let us proceed to finding errors. Okay? Our SLMs, mo na siya itong mga bantayanan. SLMs should be free from error as regards 3. There are only 3 errors nga bantayanan. Content, language, and design and layout. Kanarag yung tulo. Tulo ang bantayanan, pero each of these kanang categories, napod siya yung mga specifics. Let's start with content. So content, there are 6 categories that we need to know. Number 1 is intellectual property compliance. Compliant ba ta sa intellectual property rights? Wala ba ta nangopya? Original ba ang mga gipanggamit sa ato ang mga writers? Or basig na kay hibaw-an nga gibutang ni writer sa SLM and then wala siya attribute. Wala niya gi-mention kinsa ang author ato, kinsa asa to siya gikan. So that is a violation. And if we can see that, that's an error. Okay? And we need to report that. Another, learning competencies. Ako sa isa-isaon kay later on I will deal with it individually. Instructional design and organization, instructional quality, assessment, and readability. That's under content. Another is language, coherence and clarity of thought, grammar and syntax, spelling and punctuation, consistency in style. Basically and most commonly, mo ni siya ang una nga makita nga error sa tanan nga mga mutanaw o modules. Tanawon gyud nila ang grammatical error, spelling error, kay mo man gyud siyang very easy to find, no? So kasagaran mo ni ato ang ma-receive. I'm sure of that. And even if we have quality assurance team on language, dili man gyud sa kadaghan na nila gi-evaluate, dili pa gyud mapansin. Or at times, napansin na ni evaluator, napakita na niya, na-report na niya, nabalik na sa writer, but the writer wala po niya gipansin. So pagbalik din na karon nagtuo sa evaluator nga okay na, wala pa di ay. That happened sa katong kay numdum mo atong image sa layout and design da ito. Katong image gani sa magsasaka sa Davao Oriental o katong ang pamilya nga murag na viral ganito nga tagpi-tagpi ang mga damit ng magsasaka nga grabe kaayo ang reaction sa field sa mga kuan kanang internet world nga dili man daw ing anak ka pobre ang kuan. Actually ang evaluator ato sa layout and design iyan natong gipansin, but the author stood firm sa iyaha kay dito sa ilahang lugar mao gyud daw to ang typical nga itsura sa ilahang mga family sa magsasaka during kanang syempre kanang mga ano lang nila dili pud nga kung mga tuto silang simbahan nindot man pud lang sinina. So he or she stood firm. So mo to nga depende ra gihapon na siya. Pwede gihapon nato na i-report for specific concerns. And then muna kung gingon, design and layout, the physical attributes, the typographical organization, and the visuals. These visuals include the illustrations, the images na atong makita. Now, let us deal with this individually. Kung unsa gid ni siya, unahon nato si content standards. If you are using your cell phones, pwede ninyo ni siya i-zoom. Kung sa laptop ay murag klaro-klaro naman siguro sa inyo ha. Okay na ba ang kadakon? Okay. Now let's first have the content standards. Intellectual property compliance, ako lang ning or ano lang hato lang pasadahan. No copyright violations. Pag sinabi natin copyright, copyleft, taas kay na siya og diskusyonan. Pero ang ato lang ang main lang gyud ani nga purpose is dili kinopya ang tanan nga gisulod sa ato ang sa ato ang SLM. Very commonly ang makita nato ani is kaning mga images, mga pictures that are taken from the internet ug gipilit sa SLM. Pag kana gani labi nagnanay watermark automatic IPR issue na gyud na siya, violation gyud na siya sa copyright labi na pag naay watermark. Pag wala po yung watermark, kunya klaro kayo nga gikan sa internet, dapat sa babaan ng image na ay source note. Asa na siya gikan gikuha, unsa ang website, unsa ang specific URL address nga gikuhaan ana nga image. Pag wala na siya, that's a violation. Okay? So mo na bantayanan sa intellectual property compliance. Another is kaning mga authorship. Lalo na sa senior high school, sometimes ang mga writers, ila lang idiretso og kopya ang nasa internet labi na ning mga mga concepts or gikan sa libro without mentioning the author of the book, without referencing kung asa sila nag-source, o na siya isa po na siya ka violation sa intellectual property. So mo na ibantayanan nato nga error yun na siya pag naatay violation on intellectual property. Next is learning competencies. We make sure that LRs are aligned with the targeted DepEd learning competencies. So namo tay MELCs karon naman tay kopya sa MELCs. Kung ang gi-develop nga material nga learning resource or ang module wala na siya nag-target sa ato ang MELC karon. Bisan pag nag-target siya sa ato ang sa tawag ato dati, ato ang competencies, atong LCs, learning guides. Tama ba to? Tama ba kung kuan? Sa ganitong before sa ato ang MELC.
Learning competency, B.
Yes. Sa atong mga learning. Oo. Kung wala, bisan pag nasa dito, ores gihapon kay nga atong gina-after karon is dapat naa siya sa MELC. Kung nag-develop gani og module nga wala sa MELC, that is still considered an error. Kay nganong i-target nato, nganong tun-an sa bata karon ang dili targeted nga competencies for this pandemic time. So kailangan sunod gyud ta sa ato ang learning competencies which is MELC as of this time. Okay? Pero dili kayo ni siya makita kay kasagaran nga atong gi-distribute na amang gyud ta sa MELC. So dili ta ana. Next is instructional design and organization. Kaning instructional design and organization, usually dapat ni i-consider na ni siya sa writer. Sa ngalan nga na-evaluate na niya itong mga material, I'm sure pasok ning instructional design and organization. So very ano man ni siya, very ideal ni siya, and dili na kayo na ito makita kung na-error. I'm sure murag dili kayo ta diri magka-error kani sa instructional design and organization. Dirita sa instructional quality, dirita mo discuss og maayo sa instructional quality because these are really common errors nga makita sa ato ang mga modules. Instructional quality. 1. Conceptual error. Mali ang concept. The earth is round. The earth is round. Is that a conceptual error? Tama ba to? Earth ba kung ginamin? Kato ganing elliptical ang social sa to si solar system. Dili ko sure. Or kanang maingon nga a rectangle is a square. A square is a rectangle. O kanang mga concept kanang when the subject is verb, the verb should always have an S, or the verb should always, tama ba to? Should always have an S. O mga ana, is there an error sa concept? Okay, diha ta gyud makita kung conceptual error. So meaning there is something wrong with the concept being presented dito sa module. Another, factual error. O kaniron, the mayor of Panabo City is halimbawa Honorable John Ray Gavina. Mo na ang nabutang sa module. Klaro kayo siyang it's a factual error because it's not John Ray Gavina who's the mayor, but it's Jose Relampagos. So kana siya nga mga errors, kailangan nato na siyang i-report. Then, procedural error. So halimbawa, naghimo ka o kanang how to cook rice and then giuna ang sana siya gitak-ang na nga wala pay tubig, wa pa na-appeal dito sa procedure nga dapat butangan day og tubig. So there is a procedural error. Labi na pag sa science, halimbawa na yung mga gipanghatag dito nga procedure for a specific mga kuan ba kanang sana sa exercises nga na miss out ang isa ka importante nga procedure that needs to be reported. Then we also have pedagogical error. So yung meaning aning pedagogical error, child learning, adult learning andro, peda. So meaning dili fitted ang isa ka statement nga ibutang dito sa module nga pambata. Well, in fact, it is for adult learning. Next, computational error. Labi na sa mathematics. I remember katong nanguha ta og module from Tagum City nga akong gipa-correct muna sa mga Fs before printing it out, before allowing it to be printed. Ingon si Ma'am Carmen, iyahang giusab og compute ang mga problems dito, and she found out nga mali ang naa sa answer key or wala gyud dito sa katong sa mga choices ang dapat nga answer. So that belongs to computational error. And of course, mo gyud ni una makita sa I have said earlier, grammatical error. Init kayong mata ang mga tao when it comes to grammatical error, be it in English, Filipino, or Binisaya. Dapat yun grammatically correct ang ato ang mga module. Then violations on social content. I will discuss social content siguro during the orientation on Friday, pero dili na kayo ni sa inyo karon because I know, kabalo mo sa itong mga social content like mga biases sa mga PWD, biases sa gender, kanang mga logo, nga dapat walay commercial logo nga mabilong sa itong SLMs. Mo na siya appeal sa social content. Meaning, dili lang ta sa concept, sa facts, sa procedure, correct ang content, but we should also consider other matters para through our module ma-develop ang nationalism sa bata and respect to all living things. And of course, the non-living things, appeal na ang nature, ang environment, so kanang mga other factors na kailangan i-consider in developing modules. Okay? And other types of errors. Yan. So sa assessment, kani, very light lang ni siya. I don't think na yung mga teachers, ambot lang siguro, napod siguro, nga moingon nga, ang test nga gihatag is not aligned with the objectives. Murag ang EPS gyud ni padulong or ang mga supervisors or ang school heads ang makakita nga ay ang assessment nga gihatag sa module nga kani siya kay dili haom sa targeted objective or targeted competency. So pwede na siya gihapon nga mahimong error and can be reported. Then readability. Kaya na siya. Let's proceed to language. Actually, when I discussed ganina grammatical error, mao na to siya ang sa language standards. That there should be coherence and clarity of thought, ang grammar and syntax, kani siya agreement between subject and verb, correct use of verb tenses, no misplaced or dangling modifiers, antecedents sa noun o sa pronoun o sa iyahang antecedent, faulty parallel construction, to sing and dancing. Dili, dapat to sing and to dance. Dapat parallel. Split infinitives, dapat wala na siya. Kung mayon kag to eat, diretso ka to eat. Dili kay to suddenly eat or to voraciously eat. O ayon na butang-butangi og splitters. Diretso lang. Pag infinitives, to walk, to go. Ana, diretso na. Kay simplified dapat ang nasa to. Dili kay to graciously dance, ayun na, to dance lang siya. May pagsumpay dito, to dance graciously. Ana, dili kay to, walay splittings. No overuse of certain words and no redundancies. Of course, tanan dapat nato nga SLMs are correct as regards spelling and punctuation. In our modules, we go for serial comma, meaning comma before and, are, and, or. Kana ganing labi nagtulo na, I will go to Davao, comma, Tagum, comma, and Moncayo on in May or mga ana. So dapat pagtulo na, nagihapoy comma before and or. Then consistency in style. So those are the things that you have to see or to look at as regards language. And for layout and designs, mostly wala na ta kayo kan sa appropriateness of cover, kay very specific naman natong cover, uniform man ang template ani, at the same time the required elements, because we made sure nga ang elements in a self-learning module are complete and correct before na siya gipublish sa region and sa CO. So diri rata kasagaran sa visuals o katong mga images and illustrations nga taken from the internet nga dili mga original, or even the images themselves nag-violate og social content. Kay murabag degrading images sa bata nga sexy na kaayo, dili na siya haom sa to mga module, kay lahi ang ato ang gina after nga ma-develop sa bata nga sexy na kaayo perti pang bataa. Or kung teacher kanang mga stereotyping ba nga, kung teacher kailangan nakakuha ng buhok, naka-antiparag baga or mga ngana. So wala ta dapat mga stereotypes. So very careful ta as regards visuals. Now, katulang ako ang sa inyo nga pangitaon nga content, ang error. So if in case makita nga error sa ato ang school task force on error watch committee, at the same time sa ato mismo diha sa division, if you can see anything, kunwari dili man lang ta magsalig sa atong mga teachers no or sa mga schools nga kung na sila makita, mora po datong hulaton bago tang mo report. Kita mismo sa division as supervisors, whether EPS or PSDSs, pwede gihapon ta maka-report directly para ato ang i-forward sa region. Now, supposedly, ang ginapangita, I'm sure ma-mention ni Ma'am Bimbi later, nga it's one of the roles sa LR nga maghimo og certain email address kung asa ipadala ang mga nakita nga errors. But the way I look at it, pag email address manggod, pero tindugayan na payuban, dugay kayo mag-email, mag-construct pa sila og sentences, mag-construct pag paragraph, i-report dito. So, kung Google Form, ay kung Google Sheet po, usahay mga erase na sa uban. So, I thought of creating a Google Form para anytime na may makita nga error, ibutang dinhi ang ilahang mali. So, one error nga nakita, one module, one error, ibutang diri, all they have to do is access this URL address, and I need you also because this is still kanang murabag under development. So ganina lang nako na siya gihimo. May I request everyone to explore this Google form and then tell me kung asa pa siya need i-improve para makorek pa nako before distributing this, before publishing it actually on Friday. So, if I may present this, ano siya ang makita nato? Let's zoom this out. Ayan. So, this is the kung click ninyo ang form, mo ni siyang makita, error watch report. This gathers comprehensive report on errors found in the self-learning modules that were used in the schools division of Panabo City. So this is for Panabo City lamang. Atuwa lang ni siya nga initiative para magdali og gather and consolidate ang atong i-report sa region. Okay? So, una na kong ipangita ang grade level. Unsa nga grade level ang naay mali? Next, ay kanina lang atong tanawon. Kay mura og muna maguto siya ang makita. Dire lang ta sa ako ang para dire-diretso. So after grade level, mugawas ang subject area. Okay? So mag-choose sila unsa nga subject area tong naay mali. And then unsa nga quarter, kay dili lang man hangtod quarter 3, quarter 1 to quarter 4 kung nasa sila makita, go. Next is ang module info. Unsa ang module number, unsa ang module title, kinsa ang author and writer. Kay maglisod magunta og module number and module title lang, kay basin lang, basin ha. Naay mga schools nga wala nagsunod kung unsa to akong gihatag sa Google Drive. Nangita sila glain nga learning resource nga wala ko kabalo as LR coordinator. Naggamit sila og lahi nga material. So we need to know the author and writer so that we will know nga dili ning module, dili ni gikan sa atoa, lahi ilahang gikuhaan. So we need to know the author and the writer of that specific module. Then unsa nga page number ang naay mali, and kung kaya pag yun niya ihatag unsa nga paragraph number or location of error talaga, line 1 ba or kung unsa man nga details kung asa dapit ang mali, pwede nila na isulti ang detail. And then, unsa ang error report? Ay, para mas dali sa mag-report, kay I'm sure kapuya na sila mag-report kung daghan kay sila gisulat-sulat. So ako nila silang ipapili, unsa ang type of error nga ilang nakita? Is it conceptual, factual, procedural, computational, grammatical, social content violation, sa layout and design ba, or sa IPR, or any other type of error? And then here, ipa-specify unsa ang detail sa error. Kunwari, ang gigamit, imbis na the children play cheerfully, ang nabutang dito kay the children plays cheerfully. So at least mahibawan nato unsa gyud ang specific detail sa error. And the remarks. Okay? And of course, basin daignan na sila actions taken. Sila mismo ang nag-correct or kailangan pa nila i-report, whatever. Kaya dito sa ito ang regional template naman po ng actions taken. So pwede ra sila mo answer din ha. And then ang ato ang watcher info. Kinsa ang nag-report? So reporter's name and then the designation. Sa designation, we will only accept sa atong level, sa division level, we will not accept from anybody else lang. Nga, bisag bata, pwede rin mo report sa tuwa, bisag parent, or bisag ano. Dapat mo report sa sila sa school, and then from the school, it's either kinsa sa committee member, it's either the ADM, the LR, or the Error Watch Coordinator, ang mo fill in dinhi sa ato ang division Error Watch report. Kaya kung bisan kinsa na lang pod, lisod ka ba niya, pare-pareho lang. So dapat per school, isa lang yun ang or tulo. Para sila to, pwede po school head ang mag-report sa atua. And then ang school, kung asa sila, ako na ni siyang isa-isa tanan, all they have to do is to click lang o tick lang nila kung unsa ilahang school. Usahay manggod, lisod kayo i-consolidate pag sila atong pataypon kay nayuban ang Santo Niño ES, himuon lang SNES, napoy uban Santo Niño. Ang CA season ay CA season, ang uban na ay season lang, ang uban na ay Concordia A season. Lisod kayo pag consolidate pag kanang kaisahon na lang yun siya tanan. Kaya ato ra man na siyang i-sort per school or i-sort per report. So mas dali siya pag i-single out o butang na yun na to, and all they have to do is to pick it. Okay? And after that, thank you na. So if, as I have said, this is a work in progress. Kung napa mo'y gusto nga isulod din ha para mas mapadali or mas maging simplified ang paghimo sa ato ang report, I'll be willing to accept all your suggestions. Okay? So that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening. And good afternoon.
All right, thank you so much, Ma'am Bijo, for that presentation of SLM
Then,
and
Jo.
Yes, sir.
Observation lang, Jo. Kasi ang nakalagay dito, module, more on module siya, kaya na may module title. If in case other material siya, Jo, asa sa editan?
Pwede po check. Yes, sir. Kung halimbawa, kung module, ay mo depende man good sa sir. Kay as I have mentioned earlier, ang ato ang mga gipanggamit sa radio o TV nga material, based gihapon siya sa module. So they can still identify kung unsa to siya nga module ang naa sila'y nakita nga mali pagkakita nila sa TV or sa pagkadungog nila sa radio. Nagihapoy module number and title.
Meaning sa root cause siya, kay ang module man ang gipalo sa mga TBBI and RBI
Yes,
nga
sir.
mga okay, sige.
Yes, sir.
Ay,
Oo.
Ang ako mungod kay akong gi-advance daan basig sa TV DepEd ta o DepEd TV ang atong ma-download niya na error dito na bagyapoy SLM kay ang makahitabo ana dito we do not know kung SLM bilang ipalo o they have their own kuan mails na nila gipalo.
SLM gihapon, sir. Ma'am Bembi can attest to that. Nga tanan TVBI episodes and radio episodes are also based on the SLMs in the national. Tama ba ko, Ma'am Bims?
Yes, Dijo and sir. Ang tanang mga radio scripts, mga TV scripts, based dapat sa SLM. Awan na nato ni Carol kung mo ba gyud ang dilibi nato na monitor kanunay ang mga hinimo sa tong mga daghan na binaga-radio karon ug kanang sa TV. Wala pa gyud na siya na monitor og kanang kuan eksakto no kung nakuan ba gyud sila nagasunod ba gyud sila. So pero ang gibasehan gyud na original ang kuan gyud ang module.
Yeah, so common denominator ang SLM na for other production.
Apo.
Yes, sir.
Sige, thank you. Pwede siguro na ito tangan Jo for other materials na lang if in case bang wala siya sa module pero naa siya related yapon dito para naa siya option Jo. Okay ra ba? Or we will really based on that module kay base og naatay mga kugihan nga mga namanggutay mga writer, natay mga writer so di technically know how ani nasa knowledge, so probably naapod sila yung mga istorya unya. So wala man ni sa module siya, pwede ba ni sa other materials? Ana akong idea jo.
Kung ako sir maglisod pud ta kani ako sir ha, kung halimbawa sa radio nila na dungog nga naay mali. Unya kita mismo sa tuang division wala ta kabalo sa ilang gigamit dito sa school sir ba kay wala man ta ka monitor ana no. So ang mali ana bumirang gihapon na sa to dili man na nato ipaabot sa region because atoa man ang mali. Kung school ang nagkamali, school lang pod ang mag-correct. Kung school-based ganing material ang gigamit, school lang po ang mag-correct. So kung division nga material, division ang mag-correct. So far, ang ato ang division nga material nga gipanggamit kay based man sa region. So dapat ang padulong kita sa region. Yang region karon sir kay murag di ba man wala pa man tay wala pa tay regionally developed episodes as regards TV o radio.
Wala pa gid siya. Wala pa
pa,
gid siya
no.
actually kay wala man nahuman yata ang uban atugod.
O CO lang kasagaran no diretso sa CO ang mga material. So murag
Wala
I
pa
think
gid naman.
sir mag-focus lang sa gyud ta sa SLM kay basig bumerang sa tuang sa radyo. O bumerang sa tuang.
Thank you, Jo. Another concern ako, Jo, katong giingon ni Ma'am Ma'am Marisa Hayuma, kay AP man no, Araling Panlipunan, naa siya nabantayan dito, halimbawa, La Pilipina is found in Barangay North. Unya, factual error siya. Kay wala man tayo La Pilipina sa Panabo.
Dili siya factual error. It's a fact sa tagong.
Yeah.
Kung siya sa to is kuan lang siya, dili siya contextualized sa atuang lugar, pero there is no error dito.
Pero,
is ko dato sir no, gistorya ba nako to, i-comment ba nako to kay Ma'am Maris nga. Before baya to nato, kung sige ba ko pangutana, before I will submit this for printing, muagi gyud sa EPS in charge kung okay na ba sa iyaha o dili. And klaro kayo sa iyahang comment dito nga yes Jo, go na ng grade 1, go na ng grade 2. So meaning ning agi na sa iyaha sir.
So dili siya context, kung dili siya factor, kung dili wala lang ma-contextualize.
Yes sir. Oo. Wala lang siya na contextualize.
So error sa program owner. Kaya nga nung wala niya ma-check.
Miss out lang niya. Siguro.
Kaya wala naman ma-check. Dapat contextualize naman, no? So, dili, kaya ako mamumbag to, natural no, dili, yun siya. Kaya gihula man nato to sa tagong, no?
Yes.
Ino na tong tagong nga, usbani nga, dili, normal na correct sila, ha? Kita ang
yes, sir. Mo bitaw to, sir, nga, sila mambimbi, pila pagud to kagabi nga nag-extend kayo sa gyud kay check sa nako daghan pa kog nakita nga mali si Ma'am Carmen ayo sa gyud jo si Sir Pasquito sa iyahang ESP ayo sa mo kung mga nakita nga mali the rest go na as in nagano gyud sila sir giisa-isa gyud to nila og check ang ilang mga modules as katong gibaro nato and before tong na sila nga go na tsaka pa jud ko nagpa-print sir and nagyo to screenshots nga naingon na siya go na Jo nagtukod kung okay na.
So kana ako magkundong anticipation so na factual man nga dili man so tama wala lang ma-contextualize kay dili man ginulam man gud nato to ginulam ba so dili sala sa nagpahulam sala sa naghulam.
Correct. O nya gialaw gud to nato for kuansa for printing.
Okay, thank you Jo. Thank you for clarification. Salamat kayo. Kasi ka nga itong mga PSDS na mga additional info and probably you can also raise that one before na to ihatag sa atong second speaker din, no? Tama ba ko din? O, napakay open forum unya.
May open forum.
Later sir. Yun ang
sige,
open forum sir.
Una lang, Diego. Salamat.
Right, again, thank you so much, Ma'am Dijo, for presenting to us the standards of SLM and LR, as well as introducing to us the Google Forms in reporting our errors in the SLM and LR material. So this time, let's proceed now with our next speaker to discuss to us the term of reference. So this will include the roles and responsibilities of each member of the task force to be presented by Ma'am Shelo Estrada. Right, Ma'am Bim?
Yes. So before Eldon will play the recorded input of Ma'am Shell Estrada, the ADM supervisor in the region, would like to congratulate first Dijo. Kay ready na kayo si Dijo sa tuang mga sa tamo report. No, di ba no? Nindot kay ready na kayo ito ba? Dili pa siguro tanan naka-ready na, di ba Den? So
Tama,
sayo na.
tama, tama.
Sayo na kayo
Tama.
kay klaro na
Welcome,
dayon na to
welcome.
ang sa report. So nice kayo, klaro na kayo siya. So thank you Ana for thank you kayo Ana Dijo kay repair na jud ani Dijo. And amo nagawanda ko kung sa pag ako ba ang ADM supervisor no pero naamugod ko ka naglibog pa bugas si sir especially si June Aguilo nung tama siguro apil pa kaunta siya diri wag akong gi-check karon wala am ko siya na appeal siguro sa orientation sir kay kagagay na sa
Yeah, well,
na kagay na sa
yeah,
mga
wala.
sir kung apil ba ang mga radio mga audio o mga TV niya si June ba ya ang murag na so, nalibog pa magugupog usahay kung asa ko dapat
Ngani na lang, yeah, ngani na lang, Bim. Wala naman nato siya na-appeal diri kay ang nagibutang mo nato diri PSDS, dili mo siya PSDS. Then we will include June siguro na lang sa Friday para na-upload siya i-update. Okay, siya na ba ang naa sa TV Aralan
Ah,
para
yes, sir,
ma-appeal
yes,
siya
sir.
sa Friday sa orientation po, di ba?
yes
Kay
sir kay
tama po to yung
especially
idea. Oo.
tayo mga
Kay
pangutana
kung
sa
na,
mga kung locally developed sila
yeah,
sila kay nagahimo karon sila naghimo training wala man ta ato pag training ato didyo no na baka sa pag training wala ta no sila lang na training ato ba so ko kabalo kung unsa ilang gibasihan kung kato ba pud among nahibuan dito sa region kami kay magsabay man mi kasagaran ni Didyo pag sa LR, mga resources, katong yang gipang sudiga ganyan, ang mga LR, how are we going to check the error as evaluator, familiar na kayo sa to, ato kay, di ba, no, tong content, mga kuan, mga content, language, ug katong layout. So, bisan gani ako nahimo pud ming kaning evaluator sa BLD tapos nakita pud namo no na bisag language ang gani amo ang gitan-aw dito daghan gyapon mga mali nga mo nakita. So nagpasalamat pud kaayo ang taga central office kay kitaan gyapon na pero dili mo to dapat ipahibalo gipahibalo man lang kan. So karong second batch wala ko ning appeal ning kuan sa ako kay na timing default mi ato so ni beg off sa ako ato so sa karon moto sa ADM akong isa sa mga giklaro so salamat sir kay isa magud sa mga nalibog pud ko kung asa dapit no kay kalit lang magud og kanang niabot ni apil na balay ng ADM especially si Ma'am Shelo Estrada nagkuan pud siya katong last week nagpahimo pa siya nagpasabi po siya report sa ADM PIR diba tong program implementation review. So naglibog pud ko kung asa man dapitan no tapos nag-expect ko sa report ni June wala mo ko kadawat og report ni June so may na lang gani kay ako na lang yung overnight yun ako ganang consolidate kay pangbalhin ako sa tong file so nakasubmit lang gyapon ta ato. So mo nang as ADM supervisor naglibog pa ako kung asa jud ko dapita mo sulod kung labi na di sa kuan kay kung sa MWSP lang ko okay ra pud kaayo. So isa po to sa ako ang I have to be honest na I was not able to listen attentively to the orientation during that time because it was also during that time that we had our default in English. That's why I have requested Elden to just play the kuan input of Ma'am Shello was just recorded. Actually, the term of reference spells out the people who are involved, the level of governance, and the roles and functions of these persons. So, klaro kayo siya because you are also part of the district, you are also expected to do some reporting, no? So, munang, at least kabulan ta karon kung asa to i-report. So, without further ado, I would like to request Elden to please play the recorded input of Ma'am Shell Estrada.
Okay, Ma'am Bim. Thank you, ma'am.
Pinawala mo? O nawala ko?
And then, wala, naka-den. Ano sa naka-den?
Ako ba ito
Okay,
ah?
wala na project, ma'am.
Ah,
Ha?
okay, so.
Pag ano, i-payment ko nimo kadaghan. Quarterly reports. You has left the meeting naman si Elden. Masa naman ka-den. Den?
Wala si
Ako
Elvin.
mag-refresh, ma'am. Gi-refresh ko na ako, ma'am.
Naghang.
I also have the recorded ko. Do you want me to play this?
Sige daw.
Or ay na, okay na. Na.
Review and the conformance review processes of the SLMs were done on
PR, then compliance to the learning competencies, then social content guidelines, na compliant tayo with the social content guidelines. Chicago Manual of Style tayo. Mayroon tayong source noting and mayroon tayong entries in the bibliography. Okay? So thank you so much po. God bless everyone. So this time, we're done with the LR standards. So we will go now with the background and terms of reference. Kasi yung task force na itong pag-usapan natin, ano ba yung terms of reference? Ano yung mga roles and responsibilities ng bawat member ng task force? To give us this one, let us have Ma'am Shelo Estrada. Ma'am She.
Good morning once again. According to DepEd Secretary Leonor Briones, if quality education is expected to be offered, it is crucial that quality learning resources shall be provided to the learners and teachers. Quality learning resources enable the teachers to better assist and guide learners in mastering skills, knowledge, and experiences that will support learners in school and in life. In the new normal, majority of the the evaluation, review, and the conformance review processes of the SLMs were done on a virtual basis.
Di yata kakaya ang kuan. Den, wala na ning lihok den. O sa kuha lang ba ni?
Wala na gyud.
Sige, ibuhan lang siguro di Jo basig kuan ti Jo, di kakaya ang division.
Sir, naunsa ka na sila diya. Sir Ards, kumusta diya?
Kumusta dala napilit man?
Nalos.
Hinay.
Hinay.
Nipilit, ma'am, nipilit.
Di Jo, request ka kay Ma'am Di Jo para sa ako wala bigay copy.
Sige, I'll try.
To address all the errors that might be reported in the future. This is also to make sure that any reported errors shall be immediately taken care of to avoid further criticisms rather, that may expose the agency or the Department of Education to further trial by publicity. Kasi grabe ang taga-media, di ba? Pag may makitang mali, grabe na talaga ang atake ng media. So in order for us to be protected from such further exposure to trial by publicity, as much as possible in our own little way here in the regional office, down to the 3 levels of governance, down to the schools, we will be able to craft a mechanism, which is the Task Force Error Watch, which will be tasked to address these particular problems of errors or reported errors in the future. Okay, so I am now going to present to you the terms of reference. As mentioned a while ago, there are four levels of governance which are expected to be actively involved in this task force error watch. So these are the regional office, the schools division offices, the district offices, and the school level. So there are 4 levels of governance. In this particular terms of reference, there are 3 columns in here: the level of governance, those who are involved in each level of governance, and their role or function. Okay, so in the regional office, the chief CLMD spearheads the implementation of the task force error watch. Na-open mo na, Lodge, ang yung sa terms of reference. Okay. She exercises discretion on the acceptability of the suggested correction or corrections. Now, the EPS in the LRMDC will create a hotline email address where reports of errors in the SDO level shall be forwarded. She serves as the administrator of the said RO hotline email address. She checks on the identified errors. I-check niya kung ano ba yung reported na errors, and then determines as to what learning area is involved in that particular reported error. After the determination as to what learning area is involved, she is now going to introduce the correction to the forward the notice of error to the concerned learning area education program supervisor. So for example, the particular error is science, for example. That will be forwarded to Dr. Maria Liza Berandoy, and so on and so forth, and to other EPS. Okay. All right. So, bakit daw siya in example? Ikaw ako nakita, Liz, sorry. Okay. So, after that, the EPS in the LRMDC will introduce the correction as soon as the learning area EPS will be forwarding the suggested correction. Okay. Introduces the correction to the mother manuscript upon receipt of the approved corrections from the CLMD chief. Prepare a notice of correction for the recommendation of the chief CLMD and approval of the regional director. Okay, so another person to be involved here, persons who are going to be involved in the regional office are the EPS in all learning areas and the EPS in the PAPs, okay, the special programs. They are going to determine the veracity of the identified error with utmost diligence. They are going to base it sa standards na present ni Dr. Almazan kanina. Okay? Provides the necessary correction within 3 days from receipt of the notice of error. So we are providing them timeline kasi pag merong error, dapat i-address yan siya within 3-day period from the receipt of the notice of error. Have the suggested correction approved by the CLMD chief, and then officially submits the approved correction to the EPS in charge in the ROLRMDC through the hotline email address within 3 days from receipt of the notice of error. Okay, so another person to be involved in this is the ROADM EPS. She receives and collates quarterly reports and summary of errors from the SDO level. She will collaborate with the ROLRFs on the assessment of the SDO quarterly reports and summary of errors for possible policy formulation. So yun siya yung function ng regional office. Now let's go to the function of the SDOs, the schools division offices. Next slide, Luge, please. Okay, so in the schools division office, the chief CID spearheads the implementation of the task force error watch in the SDO level. She takes charge in the forwarding of reported errors to the RO level through the RO hotline email address in the SD developed SLMs in case of CO or developed SLMs. Okay. So in the case of CO or RO developed SLMs, reported error or errors shall be forwarded to the RO hotline. But in the case of the schools division developed SLMs, that will remain in your level and you are going to attend to it because the developers there are the SDOs, right? Okay. The chief CID exercises discretion on the acceptability of the suggested corrections on SDO developed learning materials. She leads or he leads the conduct rather of the orientation for district task force error watch. So from here, the CID chief or the SDO TFEW force is expected to lead the conduct of the orientation for district task force error watch. Okay? So the Fs in the LRMDC or the the SDO EPS for LR creates a hotline email address where reports of errors from the district level shall be forwarded. So dapat prior to the conduct of the orientation for the district task force error watch by the SDO, meron na kayong hotline email address wherein which you can give to the district PSDSs. Okay? The LR manager serves as the administrator of the said SDO hotline email address. Assists the CID chief in officially forwarding the reported errors in the CO or RO developed SLMs to the RO hotline. So, in as far as CO and RO developed SLMs, all the reported errors shall be forwarded to the RO hotline. The manager checks on the identified errors. Okay, SDO developed errors only because it is the RO LR who will be checking or determining as to which learning area this particular error belongs pag CO or RO developed SLMs. But in the case of SDO developed SLMs, it will be the SDO LR manager. Okay. He determines or she determines as to what learning area is involved. That is in case of SDO developed SLMs. Kasi pag hindi sa inyo sa RO or sa CO, diretso na yan sa RO na hotline. It shall within 3 days from receipt of the report forward the notice of error to the concerned SDO learning area apps. Yeah, learning area apps. And then introduces the correction to the mother manuscript as soon as the SDO learning area apps forwarded to him the correction as approved by your CID chiefs. This involves the SDO developed SLMs. Now, in the case of the the LR manager will also prepare a notice of correction to school heads and public schools district supervisors for SDO SLMs through the recommendation of the CID chief and the approval of the SDS. So pag sa inyo lang talaga yung materials, you are going to settle or you are going to address the problem in your level. Hindi na kailangan dadalhin pa sa RO na level kasi hindi siya dumaan dito sa amin. But for those officially released by the RO ang magti-take care as to the correction. Okay? So, another person in the SDO who's gonna be involved, other persons who's gonna be involved in this actively are the APS in all learning areas and the EPS in the PAPS. Kasi sa mga PAPS, meron din tayong mga materials just like the SPFL, just like the EPS, the SPED, yung sa madrasa, yung sa iPad, meron tayong mga ganyan. So, if in case those materials are released by the RO, dadalhin talaga yung reported error dito sa RO hotline. So in the case of SDO developed SLMs, ito yung role ng mga EPS in all learning areas. Determines the veracity of the identified error with utmost diligence, provides necessary correction if possible, have the suggested correction approved by the CID chief and submits the approved correction to the EPS in charge in the SDO LRMDC. Okay. So the SDO ADMFs shall also receive and collate the quarterly reports on summary of errors from the district level. She may now or he may now forward the SDO quarterly summary of reports on errors to the RO ADMFs within 5 days from the last day of every quarter. So after 5 days from the last day of the quarter, the ADMFs is expected to forward all the collated quarterly reports from the district level. Now let's go to the next level of governance. This is now the district level. So the district level is headed by the PSDS. The PSDS now will organize and implement the TFEW, the Task Force Error Watch, in the district level. She designates a district error watch coordinator, conducts an online orientation and information dissemination on the Task Force Error Watch to the school heads in collaboration with the SDO. Okay? The District Task Force Error Watch Coordinator, preferably the District ADM Coordinator, assists the PSDS in the implementation of the Task Force Error Watch, prepares the collated reports of errors from schools within the district, submit said report of error or errors to the SDO hotline email address upon approval of the PSDS, maintains a logbook of reported errors with records of actions taken and remedies or solutions received. So it is the District Task Force Error Watch Coordinator who shall maintain a logbook of reported errors. She will also forward the quarterly summary of errors to the SDO ADM Coordinator for assessment and future basis for policy formulation. Dumating na kasi yung tagahatid ng food namin. So, pasensya na. Yes, okay. All right. So, another person in the district level who will be part of the Task Force Error Watch is this Deputy District Task Force Error Watch Coordinator, preferably a school head. She serves as member of the Task Force Error Watch in the district level, actively collaborate with the PSDS and the Task Force Error Watch Coordinator in the implementation of the Task Force Error Watch. Yes. As you notice, parang wala masyadong mga master teachers na involved dito kasi we are avoiding yung situation na ayaw kasi ni RD na may mga maano na mga master teachers kasi daw master teachers are supposed to be in the classroom. They're supposed to be with the students or with the teachers in assisting them in the instructional supervision or in the delivery of instruction. So medyo hindi tayo mag-ano na mga master teachers dito. All right. So the last level of governance, the last but not the least, okay, is the school level. So Lud, sa school level na tayo, Lud. All right. All right. So the school level is headed by the school head. She organizes and implements the Task Force Error Watch in the school level. Designates a school error watch. So pag mag-designate tayo ng school error watch, kindly inform the school head na talagang meron siyang document na school error watch coordinator talaga siya, with one teacher and the PTA president as members. Why are we trying to let the PTA president be involved in this? It's because it's the PTA president who has that active involvement in the community. So, ang chismis about errors can be gathered from the community. So, the PTA president or the officials of the PTA can actually help us in getting the rumored or the alleged errors in the field. That is why we are, as much as possible, inviting them to be part of this, okay? Conducts an online orientation and information dissemination on the Task Force Error Watch for the teachers and parents, and ensure the active ensures the active participation of the PTA officials in the Task Force Error Watch orientation. Now, this Task Force Error Watch Coordinator has the following roles rather, and functions. Assist the school head in the implementation of the Task Force Error Watch, prepares the collated reports of errors from teachers and external stakeholders, submit said notice or report of error or errors to the district hotline email address upon approval of the school head, maintains a logbook of reported errors with records of action taken and remedies or solutions received, forwards the summary of errors to district ADM coordinator for assessment and future basis for policy formulation. Now, the school ADM coordinator is another person who is expected to be actively involved in this school level task force error watch. She serves as member of the task force error watch in the school level, receives and collates quarterly reports and summary of errors from the teachers, works with the SDO task force error watch on the quarterly summary of reports on errors. So those are the 4 levels of governance which are expected to be part or to be involved in this task force error watch actively as we implement this immediately yata right after this orientation. So all of you is expected talaga to conduct the orientation in your level. Okay, so now let's go to the monitoring and evaluation. What will be happening in the monitoring and evaluation of this? So we are not just going to implement this, we are also going to monitor and to evaluate as to what is happening in the evaluation or in the implementation. So monitoring and evaluation of the task force error watch shall start immediately after the launching of the program, after the establishment of the program actually. Today is the day wherein we are establishing this. So right after this, we are expecting already that the SDOs will be conducting the task force error watch orientation after this, okay? The quarterly results of the monitoring and evaluation shall be submitted on or before the last day of every quarter. The following are the offices and units which will implement, monitor, and or will be affected by the monitoring of the task force error watch. The school level, the district level, the schools division level, and then the regional level. So the school head leads the monitoring of any report of errors in coordination with the school error watch coordinator. The school head ensures the submission of the quarterly report to the district office on the monitoring and evaluation of the program with the help of the school error watch coordinator. The PSDS shall be responsible for the monitoring of the task force error watch implementation in the schools within its area of responsibility. The PSDSs ensure the submission of the quarterly report to the SDO office on the monitoring and evaluation of the program with the help of the district error watch coordinator. Now, the ADM supervisor under the Curriculum and Instruction Division, in coordination with the Learning Resource Supervisor in the division, shall take charge in the monitoring of the Task Force Error Watch implementation. They shall collate the monitoring reports of the districts within their SDO and shall forward its findings to the regional office. The regional level LR supervisor and the ADM regional office coordinator, in coordination with the learning area supervisors in the CLMD, lead the monitoring and evaluation, focusing on the entire implementation. So we will also be monitoring as to when you will have, when are you going to have your orientation. And then the LR supervisor, we will be monitoring the entire implementation of the Task Force Error Watch. They shall, with the approval of the CLMD chief, supervisor be responsible to furnish a copy of the said report together, collated report of the monitoring, together with all the corresponding action or actions taken for each case to the office of the regional director. So those are the terms of reference. That is the flow on how this task force error watch will be implemented. And I hope I was able to share with you clearly, or if it is not that clear because our signal is intermittent, I am very much willing to share this in the to the ADM or to the LR coordinators or to the CID chiefs in your SDOs, so that you are going to use these terms of reference when you are going to have your orientation on the task force error watch in your in the different levels of governance. Okay. Chief, ikaw na mo sunod siguro after ani Chief. Okay. Sandali. Okay. So, we're done with the terms of references, and then Luge, paki flash doon sa report of errors, the template Luge, yung sa template. Okay, so what is being flashed at this very moment is the template for the report of errors on SLMs, and I do not know if the LR do have an improved template of this. But temporarily, this is the report of errors, a template for the report of errors on SLMs. Okay, so we will be having our workshop, and Lujin will be actually, as what I have mentioned kanina, this is not really a workshop. We are just going to get the names who will be involved.
I believe murag dito na lang takutob. Okay, go ahead, Ma'am Bin.